Hi, my name is Demitri Kornegay. My hometown is Washington, D.C., and my major is counseling psychology in the master's degree department. Yes. Well, my parents have always placed a high regard on education. As a matter of fact, in their families, they were the first ones of their families to actually go away and graduate from college. My father had 14 brothers and sisters. My mother was the oldest of 8, and they came from a rural part of North Carolina. As far as my own academic achievements, I managed to graduate from the University of Richmond in 1979. I helped other people get through school. I'll put it that way, that's the best way to put it. Helping my daughter through science projects and whatnot, helping my wife go back to school, actually go to community college, Prince George's Community College, then attend Columbia Union College, and then go to get a master's from an MBA, in fact, from George Washington University. Mm-hmm. So as far as my own academic things, I just learned and made sure I supported them, and then in the summer of 2006, I decided it was my turn to come back and put the hand to the plow and finally get my own master's degree. Well, I know it's close, and I never attended an HBCU. My daughter attended Hampton University. They seem to have a lot of fun. I have friends who've gone to Howard, but except with the proximity of Bowie State, it was a good university. It was nearby. And then it kind of solidified it for me when I came to the university to the orientation for graduate students. Everyone seemed to welcome me with open arms, and I appreciated that. It made you feel at home. They let you know you don't have to do a lot of work, but you're already doing a lot of work if you're working your way through at the same time anyway. But they made you feel at home. Oh, wow. One of them, I don't know if you're going to have one, but there were so many. There was Dr. O'Brien first when I first got here. Then there was Dr. Jetter. There was Dr. Bragg. He's my advisor and somewhat of a mentor. Dr. Hank Raymond, Dr. Otis Williams, Dr. Rosalind Green. All of them in counseling psychology, and they managed to put a decent spin on it that made it attainable. You know, it was a challenge, but it was still attainable. Quite a bit. It's given me the opportunity to talk to the younger folks, because I'm the older guy, and I'm always the old guy in the room. You know, but working for a living, and then you're coming through and with a lot of people that sometimes in the same class where they haven't had that experience yet. And as such, you can tell because they tend to take things a little bit lighter than they should. And you try to impress them with the fact that, you know, one day you're going to have to pay for this if you're not paying for it already. And if you're going to have to pay for it, you take it a whole lot more serious because you figure there are no throwaways. There's no wasting time. You really want to come in and get as much as you possibly can out of the experience that you get the opportunity to get. My thesis concerned itself with young minority males in health, and the idea was we did a research project at one of the local high schools, and the idea was if you learn more about education and nutrition and physical activity prior to going and getting involved in them, you will eat better and you will keep yourself in shape. You're less likely to spend hours on end in front of a computer game and a computer. And it turned out to be just that. And that was the nature of my thesis. I can't remember the technical term because it's got a lot of $9 college words in it. But that was primarily what it was trying to do.
Okay.
Well, I'm a part of the National Minority Male Health Project here. I'm also a part of the Students Adlerian Society here. Whatever I could help out, I'd go for PDAs, go to some of the workshops in this area because I always wanted to know about the things here. And there's something about being around a think tank that, you know, you can have some impact on what happens and where it happens. And you never know when a few words that you give might encourage someone else, a young mind that's there. And especially if I've had the opportunity, which I have, to go and do different things and then suddenly turn around and, you know, you're around the young folks again. Don't waste that time. You know, now people will always say the worst vice is advice. But sometimes you can, you know, say something at the right time it causes people to think, and I love it when the light bulb comes on. So, you know, a lot of times the light bulb does seem to come on and say, oh, you figured that out by yourself. I'm a police officer. I've been one for 28 years. I'm transitioning now from police work into counseling psychology. I plan to take the licensure exam, which will start me down the road to becoming a licensed mental health therapist. I'm looking at a PhD, a doctorate, hopefully in counseling psychology. I used to run a radio show a long time ago, back in the days of Discos and Dinosaurs, back at the University of Richmond, where I attended. I had a radio show, and this time I'd like to run a radio show and I don't want to say be Fraser Crane, but at least have something wherein some common sense is added in. So you can answer questions people call in, and you can try to help them, give them, like Lucy off Peanuts, a nickel's worth of psychological advice, and go forward from there. I like to do that. I like to write a couple more books. I like to take the time and enjoy and have a beautiful life.